Welcome.
to Dark Narratives. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Alexandria.
Okay. All right. So, as an early Saturday morning barely begins to breathe, two college students are on the road for spring break in 1985. They spot and send, or they stop and they send out a postcard timed 2 a.m., just giving a brief update on the trip and that they still had about 23 hours or so to go. At the bottom of the postcard, they signed, P.S. Call you Sunday.
They were writing
Just a girl.
postcards at 2 a.m.
Yeah, well, it's 1985. So instead, they just, grabbed a postcard for the location that they were at and wrote it.
All right.
hmm So just a girlfriend notifying her boyfriend that he should expect another update on Sunday. Just trying to set him at ease.
Okay.
Last words, I'll call you Sunday. Written out almost like a promise. Now continue on like a ghost when that call never came. This is the unsolved brutal murders of Kim Vaccaro and Lisa Eisman.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, me neither. And it is actually appalling how much lack of information is out there about this.
Oh.
So in 1985, Fort Lauderdale in the Sunshine State of Florida was also known as Liquordale during that time.
Oh, nice.
So, like if you were looking to go somewhere on spring break and you want that like just quintessential spring break that you see on TVs, this is where you're going to go, especially when you're in college. So you can kind of picture how that is looking already. So that name, like I said, it came from the students in neon bathing suits, big sunglasses, and big hair who effectively overran the city from the last week of March through early April. So the town was just like, it was chaos. They came from everywhere to escape their studies, their teachers, and their jobs, using this time to drink, dance, enjoy the beaches and the hot weather, and just overall the awesome vibes for a week straight with their friends.
I want to go.
Right? Like imagine being that age. Absolutely, I would be there.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
that was an
sign me
option.
up.
I mean us in Canada, it's kind of spring breaks a little bit different. I
Spring
would
break
say,
sucks.
yeah, but being out in the States or in close to Florida, this is where I would 100% go to spring break for sure.
Yeah, because I always think of Miami or somewhere as a spring break
hmm
destination.
Yeah, right. Imagine if we grew up at the same time and we lived by Florida and like imagine if we grew up at the same time in the same area and we went to spring break together. That would be insane. We would
I
party so
know.
hard.
We'd die.
We so
Die.
would die. We would, except now we're like in bed by 8:39.
Oh yeah. Like even
Good
out
night.
here, when it's time to put the kids to bed, I'm like, that's my bedtime too. Like out on
Oh, for
vacation
sure.
because they stay up late. I
I'm the
just go to
same.
bed with
I'm
them
going to
now.
bed. Yeah.
Hmm.
Because even if you don't just go to sleep, it's your quiet time to unwind.
Oh, I go to sleep.
Do you? I can't. Dylan goes right to sleep. Me? No, I really need time to, if I don't get my time to unwind before bed in my room, I'm gonna have the terrible sleep.
Yeah, you need to,
I really,
decompress.
yeah. Yeah, in the 80s, 150,000 locals in that area. They would expect to have around 350,000 college students roll in
Oh,
over that break.
Jesus. So double on top of what is already there.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And they're just looking to party. So
Party.
because of the sheer amount of people and like drunk people at that, the locals knowing it was what it was going to turn into during that week, they just started to avoid going out during that time, like to popular areas, which sucks because it's like spring break. That's their spring break too. They live there, but they also just they knew what was going to happen and it just kind of is what it is. So they would overall avoid traffic and popular areas and everything around that time. 1985 alone, there was about 200 or 2,500 arrests
Okay.
just in that
That's a
area
lot.
over the
Okay.
break. So imagine they're going nuts. Let's talk about Kim and Lisa. So they were friends, roommates, and both students at the Buffalo State University. So like a lot of other students, they were also among the ones that wanted to experience this spring break that everybody goes to. Everybody around them is flocking towards that area to get a break. Social service major Kim was 4'11 with brown eyes and brown hair.
It's
And
tiny.
Lisa, I know, it made me think of you.
That's
Guess you're so short. How tall are you actually? I'm curious.
I'm not that short. I'm 5'2".
Okay, I think it's because, and I'm only 5'5", but sometimes when I'm standing next to you, I forget how much shorter you are than me. And it's just, I don't know, it's just funny. I just forget. You're like, I'm not that fucking short.
I know. Like, stop it. No, just
I know you're like, I'm not actually adding to this conversation.
kidding. Like, there's
And
nothing I can do about it.
yeah, I'm short, whatever. I did think of you. I know you're not 4'11", but I did think of you for a second.
That's so
So
short,
Lisa,
though. That's so
that
tiny.
is that is, and she was pretty small too, like just in general.
Hmm.
Lisa, majoring in special education, was 5'5", with long blonde hair and green eyes. So
Okay.
you think about just they're both 20 years old in 1985. They're both majoring in very essential and helpful careers in the world, like
Yeah.
working with other people who really need that. It takes a certain type. I know I couldn't do it. I'm not as I don't show sympathy as well as I would like to. And it really takes a certain person to take on those kinds of roles in the world.
Yeah, and to
Um,
want to help and everything.
yeah, and to be right there on the front lines for it. And I think that really speaks to the type of people that they were. And like I said, at this time they're at such a pivotal point in their lives. They're moving towards a new direction and a path filled with just so much personal growth and self-discovery and just there's just so much potential there.
Yeah.
And they're wondering, who am I and who will I become in the next few years? And will they meet the goals that they've set? Will they fall in love or have the career that going to school is hopefully going to give them? But tragically, here, evil found them before any of those important questions could ever be answered.
Mhm. They're so young.
I know. So the week leading up to spring break, students were starting to check out and just slowly go into vacation mode, which I definitely go into vacation mode leading up to mine. So they're planning how they were going to get there, get to their party destinations, their hotels, everything. They're starting to make all those arrangements. And at the time, Buffalo State University was well aware of the lure in heading to Fort Lauderdale for a crazy party week. And in response to that, they organized a sponsored charter bus. So the students had the option to take that and get there safe.
Oh,
But I mean, you're 20 years old. Some of you have cars, or some of your friends have cars, or also, there's so many options out there. The charter buses there, but again, some will use it, some won't. But I thought
Yeah.
that was an awesome
Yeah, I think so.
option,
Especially,
right?
they know, they want them to be safe. They're not kiboshing their plans. They're just trying to be helpful.
Exactly. And like I said, some students would take the advantage and some would drive themselves or use other means. And this kind of brings us to hitchhiking. So the
Oh,
1970s was the golden age of hitchhiking. And I think a lot of us know that. Everybody was doing it, this was especially popular with the younger generation. It was freedom and being spontaneous, and it was cost effective, all these things. But like we know, has been proven many times through the decades that sticking your thumb out could get you a ticket to seeing pure evil up close.
have you ever hitchhiked? Would you?
Have I ever heard? Have you
My mom
hitchhiked
did all the
before?
time. No, but my mom hitchhiked like she told me she
Did
hitchhiked
she?
lots in the 80s and stuff.
You should pick
So,
her brain and see if she has any stories.
yeah, she probably
And see
does.
if, yeah, she might. See if she'll
She's
tell you.
crazy.
Yeah, I really want to hear because I bet you there is stories. But okay. Yeah, you should pick your brain. So this was certainly the vibes come 1980s that people were getting, that yes, it was cost effective and yes, it was good in a pinch, but was it safe? No, it really wasn't safe. And you really should avoid it, but again, people obviously still did it. So that brings us to a discussion that was had a little before the trip. Hitchhiking is stupid. A discussion that was frequently had between the girls and their mutual friend and roommate, Erin Berkowitz, in the days leading up to leaving for vacation. It seems, though, that Kim and Lisa were pretty much just determined and had their head set on, instead of taking the bus, they were going to hitchhike to Fort Lauderdale. It just made the most sense for them in their minds. They seem to just have it all figured out, thinking, really, what could go wrong? It will be a long ride and a long travel, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Uh, Lisa's dad, Paul, would later say, I think they just got caught up with the idea of a lark. They figured, we've done nothing crazy, let's just do it.
Oh no.
Which, I mean, I can kind of relate to that. Being a young 20-year-old, I mean, what really could go wrong in your head?
Yeah, you think you're invincible or you can't get hurt.
Absolutely. Think of the things that we would do back when we were like 20.
Yeah,
I mean, I
exactly.
wasn't around. You were like, what, 24 when I met you, I think,
Yeah, I think so.
right?
Yeah.
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 I think I was like 19 when I met
Yeah,
you, actually.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. hmm So I can get that. And I thought you might too. You're young. Kim and Lisa packed their belongings efficiently as they could in collapsible knapsacks to make their traveling the road easier. Thinking of possible dangers they might encounter, they attempted to arm themselves. So Kim took a pocket knife, and Lisa, opting for a weapon and an alibi should things go awry, bringing a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Yeah, they were like, oh, yeah, well, I mean, in the off chance something goes wrong, I'll just, like, they probably joked about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're still prepared, kind
They
of.
still brought it. Yeah. I wrote here, I'm like, just in case for whatever reason a police officer is questioning why you have a knife. And well, sir, I'm going to have a meal soon and I'm a germaphobe.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Before the trip, one of the girls' parents had given them cash that to use towards going on the bus and getting to Fort Lauderdale and stuff. But like I said, it made more sense for them to hitchhike because instead of using that cash towards getting there, they were going to use it towards like clothes for the trip and their accommodations when they get there and things that they want to do. So they were just trying to really stretch the dollar a bit and what made the most sense for them. And again, I can 100% get that at that age. Well, I want a new freaking bikini if I'm going to be running around at spring break.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why they want to hitchhike. That makes sense.
Exactly. And I, again, 100% relate to that. With days closing in towards spring break, Erin and some friends finally give in and tell the girls basically that this is a stupid idea, what you're going to do. But if you're going to do it, then, like, obviously they can't stop them. They're going to be worried, but basically, whatever at this point.
Yeah, they're adults.
Exactly. They're adults. They can go and do this if they want to. Uh, so March 29th rolls around and the students start piling in the sponsored charter bus with their friend groups. But for Kim and Lisa, the plans were different. Despite the warnings from their parents in the past and her friends more recently, the two were determined to take this uncertain adventure together and save a
Mhm.
couple dollars. With their parents thinking they are on the bus and safe, they aren't immediately alarmed when they don't hear from them after they should have arrived. But since they're 20 years old and they're going on spring break, they thought, maybe they just got caught up in the moment and forgot to just touch base at home. But they will when they have a moment.
Yeah.
But they never
Well,
do.
yeah. Oh, fuck.
And again, your kid's 20 freaking years old. What are you going to do? Spam them? And also, there's no cell phones at the time.
Yeah, we're gonna send them a bunch of or postcards.
In an interview later on, one of them said, I just thought maybe the girls were just caught up in the fun. And once they got there, they forgot to call. One of the parents actually said that.
Yeah.
Because if you gathered from this, they didn't know they were hitchhiking. They thought they were on the bus, their parents.
Yeah, that's scary too.
So thinking
But
you're on a
yeah,
charter bus, you use a safer method to get there. Okay, maybe you did just get caught up in it when you got there and you forgot to like I'll give them shit later.
yeah, I could see that because even I feel like I've done that before where I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll text you when I get home or whatever. I know
Hmm.
they don't have phones here, but like I've said stuff like that
Yeah.
and then completely forget or whatever.
Yeah, no, I've done that too. Sean Jordan, who was dating Lisa at the time, agreed to take them to the highway to begin their hitchhiking journey on March 29th. And that's what he did. At 1:30, Lisa's boyfriend drops the girls off, then sees them jumping into a tractor trailer and headed down the highway. Now, for me reading this, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What is happening here? But again, remember the time. This was
Yeah.
normal. This is what people did. He later said he dropped them off on the thruway, is what he used. He dropped them off on the thruway and they took off from there, headed to Baltimore.
Mm.
Then their last location was Hagertown, Maryland, which was evident from the postcard that was sent to Sean Jordan, marked 2 a.m.
How far
So
is
I
this trip?
Yeah, so I did look this up because I figured you would wonder, and I was curious. And they would have traveled just over 5 hours at this point to get to Hagertown.
Okay. And then from there it's another three or
No, from there to get to Fort Lauderdale, in her postcard, she wrote it like still, we'll get there. And I will say too, I'm not sure when the postcard was received after it was sent that day, because from my understanding, it still took a couple of days to receive in that time, but I really couldn't get too much information about exactly when it was received.
okay.
Regardless, the postcard reads to like the best of my ability to make it out. It reads, "Hi, after we cross this bridge, it's Virginia. Then only 23 more hours." She told him
Holy
not to
shit.
worry. Hmm. She said not to worry and that she loved him. There was also a little blurb from Kim written on the bottom left of the postcard saying along the lines of, Hi, Sean. Boy, do we have to tell you. And the writing gets super small and I can't make it out too much, but she ends it with by Kim. Lisa then lastly signs P.S. Call you Sunday from
Okay, so
getting
basically
to.
this trip is like a 2 day, like a 3 day trip.
Oh, it's a long trip, yes,
I didn't
of
realize
just
that.
finding rides. Unbeknownst to all their family and friends, the girls would end up in the Hillsborough River just
Mm.
days after this postcard would have been sent,
Oh my God.
both floating just 300 yards away
Mm.
from one another, bobbing in sequence with the marsh water.
Oh no. So they
Terrible.
found them. They found them. Oh my God.
April 2nd, I believe just 4 days after they took off on spring break, both girls were found by an unlucky soul. Both of them were in only t shirts, no personal belongings on them or even around them, just 400 yards west of Interstate 75. I looked into this and I think that that's only about a 5-minute walk from the interstate to get where they were found.
So did they ever make it to Florida?
I guess I should say, I guess I should say Hillsborough River is in Florida.
Oh, okay, okay.
And because of the condition of their bodies from being brutally attacked and being in the water for an estimated time of 2 days, the Hillsborough County medical examiner had to rely on dental records to identify them.
Oh my God.
So once they did that, we were able to definitively say that this is Kim Vaccaro, 20 years old, and Lisa Eisman, 20 years old.
Oh,
Both women had large and fatal blows to their heads, and whether or not both of them or one of them were sexually assaulted, it was undetermined. I tried to look into it further because there was an article saying that they were looking into it, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to see if anything came from that.
is it because they were so decomposed, probably?
Possibly, I mean, they're in that hot,
Oh
swampy,
yeah.
like mossy area.
I'm surprised
Um,
an alligator or something didn't get them.
that's what I thought, and then I started going down a spiral. I think that alligators prefer like live
Oh,
bait.
okay.
I think because I believe, and I'm just basically I'm just thinking based off of what's the alligator show? No, not the show, the movie. It's a really it was like really popular back in the day. Fuck, Alligator Dundee, something like that. Anyways, it just made me
Oh,
think of it.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Okay,
about? Where
yeah.
they sleep out
Yeah.
on the ground. It's like really old. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget.
Um, and it's like they go for the people standing on the edge. Anyways, an alligator didn't get them. So, moral of the story. So, right off the bat, there was really not much, if like nothing at all to go off of. Searches of the area did not turn up any of their personal belongings or clues or indicators as to who might have done this and how the women got there, which is just so terrifying that there's just nothing around them that can say anything.
Yeah, that's weird.
Reports mentioned the police were going to backtrack their route, but again, I haven't really found anything from their efforts of doing that that would indicate any sort of leads in this investigation. The families of the women had set up rewards to encourage people to really provide any information that they might know. Maybe somebody's seen something around or seen them in their last known location of Hagertown. We know their last town was Hagertown, but we haven't heard from them since. So how did they get to Florida? Did the person who picked them up in Hagertown bring them to Florida and then do this? Or did something happen during the way to Florida and then this person dumped them there and then took off? Or did this happen in the beginning and it lasted the whole drive to, do you know what I mean? There's so many things. Like
Yeah.
Did
Or
they?
how many people picked them up? Like, did they get picked up by multiple people on the way?
Yes. Did they leave Hagertown and then get dropped off in another town and immediately picked up by another person, and that's the person who did it? Like, I want to talk to every person who picked these women up. So I don't
Weird.
know. Maybe there's documents out there that I just can't get my hands off. I really couldn't find much on what their efforts were at this point. And maybe they're not telling much because maybe they still want it.
Oh,
I
you
don't
think
know.
they're still looking into it? Or
Who
might
knows?
reopen it? Yeah.
I would love to see that, but I don't know. So at this point, 40 years and 4 decades, police still do not have answers as to who stole the lives of Kim and Lisa. When did things, like, this is what I was saying, when did things go so wrong? It's unclear if really we'll ever know any of the answers to this.
What? That's so
I'm
frustrating.
I'm also very unclear and do not understand, like I said, the lack of obtainable information out there on these women in general and what was put in to solve this murder. I really just want to know, like, did we talk to any drivers at all? Like, how did they get to Florida? How did they get to Florida and how did they end up in this swamp? Like, if it's only about a 5 minute walk, like we said, did they drive and then this guy pulled? Did anybody see a car pull off on the interstate? Like,
What? This is so frustrating.
yeah. So in early 2016, serial killer Oscar Ray Bolin Jr. was up for execution, and that is when this case came up as to whether or not he might have been involved in the murders of Kim and Lisa. But that was immediately discarded, and then there was never anything to connect him. It just because it was kind of brought up that he might have been in the same area at the time. It's a possibility, but again, he was never, it was discarded after that for no
I never even
connections.
heard of him. That I've never heard of that serial
I
killer.
know. I know. I wrote him down because I want to look into him. So maybe we'll do an episode on him and I'll tell you. So by 1985, like I kind of talked about in the beginning, hitchhiking had become a lot more risky, more of a risky thing for people to do. However, it was still being talked about often. It was like we just talked about here, people were still doing it. It was very cost effective. Paul Eisman, Lisa's dad, said in an interview after, tell them not to hitchhike again and again and again. Don't ever stop saying it.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad and yeah, heartbreaking.
Isn't it just terrible that this brutal murder happened and we just know nothing?
It's weird though. Like I feel like
It is weird.
yeah,
Do
and so
you?
like all we have is this postcard and the bodies. That's it.
Yeah.
And then
They
that
were
one guy who said
floating.
that they dropped them off.
No, that was her boyfriend said, I dropped them off.
Oh, right. And then
Yeah. And
okay, yeah.
then, yeah, received a postcard marked Hagerton, Maryland. Never heard from them again.
The fuck? I would be so frustrated as a family. Well, I am, and I'm not even their family members, and I'm frustrated.
I know. It's really mind-boggling. And they were found in a really undeveloped area. They were in like a marsh, like the Florida marsh, if you will.
Yeah.
But also it really wasn't far from the highway. So I just wondered, did anybody, like, okay, I wrote this down too in my thoughts. My mind is going to, well, if this person pulled over on the side of the highway and say, for example, the girls were already had already been murdered at this point, and this I say he, but this person needed to discard of them and he thought this would be the best place. Think about this, one person to be able to carry two people who are, for lack of better word, dead weight at that point, like completely down from
Heavy.
the interstate down to the marsh. That's almost like, I don't see how somebody does that, carries two dead weight bodies on them without
By
anybody
themselves.
seeing.
They were blood, so they were hit on the head. They were hit on the head, like was were they tied up? Like, how did he get them both? I was gonna say before your phone rang, like if he had a gun and he shot one, then shot
Yeah.
the other, that's so quick. But to have them both die by being bludgeoned on the head, it's weird.
Yeah.
So you think maybe there's two people. Maybe.
Like how exactly? I was like, is there two people here? Because did they both take these people out to the marsh? Is there tire tracks? Is there marks on their arms and legs? Like you said, were they tied up? Did how did they subdue one? And there's so many questions, and I feel like I want to hope that the investigators have this information. They just don't want to give too much out. But it's also been 40 years. Um, where's the like in memory post of like anniversary posts of this is still a cold case, it's still open, we still want to know who did, like, find justice for these women, and I just haven't found much.
So wait, is it a cold case or is it
It
still an
is,
open
yes.
case? So if it's
No,
a
it's a
if
it's a I would say it's a cold case. I
so
again,
it's closed then.
yeah.
So it's they're not still looking into
Like
it.
I keep envisioning this investigation box sitting collecting dust. Like I feel like I keep envisioning that, and it's just sitting there.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
weird.
It's really sad because also there's a lot of terrible things that happen during spring break.
Yeah, like how many arrests did you say that they do just in that 1 week?
Just in that one, it was about 2,500.
Yeah, that's insane.
And
So,
I would imagine it ranges from like minuscule to like to public intoxication to like assault or something.
yeah, of course.
But yeah, that is the episode for this week. And we will have one. We do them bi-weekly now, but we're trying to get on a better schedule here. But I mean, if you like our episodes, it would be really helpful to like and rate them and even comment. We just it would make our day actually to every time we
Yeah.
see a comment anywhere, we send it to each other because it's just so exciting to see that people are engaging in what we're doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and don't be shy if you want to reach out to us. We are active on the socials on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook page. I don't know if we will get one. We're working on a
No.
website, I think. So,
Yeah, we are working on a website. I think but you can also email us at Dark Narratives
Dark Narratives.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, darknarrativespodcast at gmail.com. Again, we'd love to hear.
Unsettling experiences, eerie moments.
Yeah, eerie moments. Send us all of your, eerie moments that you found yourself in, whether that be with the undead, the paranormal, or in real
Anything
life.
sinister. Yeah, I was to say anything sinister or unsettling.
Exactly. Maybe you had a weird run-in with somebody and they were a
Yeah,
serial
frightening
killer.
running, frightening run-ins.
I'd love to do an episode where we talk ghosts
Oh, that I'm
and
gonna
cryptids and so many things.
tales from the inbox.
Tales from the inbox. We would love to hear some tales from the inbox.
Yeah. Yeah, tales
Yeah.
from the
Creature
creatures.
tales.
Creatures tale. Yeah, creature tale.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love some creature tales in the
We'll do a
inbox. It would
creature
be
tale episode.
exactly. It would be amazing to do an episode where we can talk with you guys.
Yeah.
And that's it for this week.
Remember, it's a dark world out there. See you
See you
creatures next week.